The other storylines here, just hang with me. Notre Dame, USC. Never seen this before in my life. Irish took a 99-yard interception back for a touchdown on one possession. Next possession, another pick six went 100 yards. Notre Dame returned interceptions 99 and 100 yards on back-to-back series as they finally beat down USC. Jaden Mayava threw for 360. Trojan quarterback of the future. He's had a good couple of weeks. UCLA celebrating, running around the Rose Bowl like they accomplished something. Went 5-7. They're celebrating. They beat Fresno State. Jeez, has UCLA fallen? Indiana, Purdue. What a great season in Bloomington, Indiana. But I didn't like the way this ended on Saturday. Battle of the Old Oaken Bucket. They beat Purdue, which is really down. Lost all of its players in the transfer portal. They beat them 66-0. Fritz Cignetti, the coach, left the quarterback Curtis Rourke in with a minute to go in the fourth quarter, throwing touchdown passes. He threw 6 TD passes. Final score sheet showed Indiana had 582 yards. Purdue had 67.
67?
Why is Cignetti running up a score on Purdue? And why is Rourke throwing touchdown passes in the fourth quarter at the risk of maybe getting hurt for a bowl game or the playoffs? I thought Cignetti handled that really poorly. Arizona State, Arizona, Centennial Cup. What a job in 2 years by Ken Dillingham. They're going to the Big 12 championship game. They finished 10-2. They stomped Arizona, had 643 yards in that Sun Devil win. Colorado, Oklahoma State. Shedeur Sanders, 438, 5 touchdowns, all-time leading passer at CU. Travis Hunter, 3 more touchdown catches. He's got 14 for the season. Colorado's not going to make the playoffs, but boy, they are playing really well. They're going to be fun to watch bowl game. Georgia Tech. Explain this one to me. Georgia Tech, the School of Engineering and all that in the ACC. They got 5.0 grade point average to get in the front door. They led Georgia by 17 points in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Georgia came back, though. Their quarterback went wild in the fourth quarter, forced overtime. They played 8 overtimes. Georgia finally beat Georgia Tech 48-42. Georgia survives. Amazing. Boise took apart Oregon State. Ashton Genty, 223 yards. He's got 2,288 yards rushing for the regular season. Boise plays Vegas in the Mountain West Conference Championship game this weekend. And by the way, there were other games played on Rivalry Weekend. Division I AA playoffs began. Montana won its first game in the playoffs. They're a team to watch. Division II playoffs began. Division III playoffs began. In I AA football, here's the statistic of the day. Illinois State in I AA went on the road and beat Southeast Missouri State. Okay, so what? Illinois State intercepted 5 passes. So what? Southeast Missouri's quarterback, Pax Delarant, he threw for 567, 4 touchdowns, but he threw 5 interceptions in the game.
Whoa.
So Southeast Missouri could have won, except the quarterback kept throwing to the other guy all day long. Small college playoffs are just absolutely stunning. So I AA, 2, and Division III all underway. So, John, go ahead. Comment on Notre Dame, USC. Comment on cheerleading UCLA. IU running it up. Arizona State. Pick a team. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I love that you cover the I AA, the D2, D3. I went to a D3 school, and so it's nice to see the get some love there. I want to go back to the SC Notre Dame game, and I just think this is a really novel rivalry because they've been playing each other like for 100 years.
1920s, Newt Rockne era.
Yeah. So do you know about the history of this and why it's those two schools that hooked up? And are there any other similar situations of cross-country rivalries?
There have been great rivalries all over college football for decades upon decades. More of them are regional than they are international like this. Stanford, Notre Dame has been a big one. Of course, Notre Dame was an independent, so they had to go schedule a lot of different people. But because it's Notre Dame and it's USC, which traditionally has been a West Coast power, those are real special games. But Notre Dame has always had a historic rivalry with Army. Now, that goes back to the 1930s and 1940s when Army was a national power, and they used to play the game at Yankee Stadium or the Polo Grounds in New York City. So, yeah, there are some of those intersectional rivalries that still exist. And even though Notre Dame is kind of loosely affiliated with the ACC, they have kept those emotional ties with USC, and they will keep them going forward.
Nice. I like to hear that. I mean, that's good. But yeah, the rest of for Colorado, I want to talk about Coach Prime. You don't think he's getting in the playoffs? I mean, they're ranked, aren't they, in the top 25?
But you got to be in the top 12. Or you have to win your conference. They're not in the championship game.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to have a great record, and they're going to go to a marquee bowl. There's no doubt about that. But they got started too late because they lost a couple very early, and running uphill, they never were able to get there.
And then how in the hell is UCLA playing Fresno State at the end of the season? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, again, with the death of the Pac-12, thank you, Southern Cal, UCLA, for causing that, all these schools' conference contracts were kind of blown up. And so the Big Ten, which now controls scheduling, put USC, UCLA in the middle of the season. They put the Apple Cup, Washington State in the middle of the season. They put the Civil War, Oregon State, middle of the season.
Really?
Put Stanford Cal the game in mid-November rather than the last game of the season. So the conference affiliations changed, and that forced juggling of scheduling.
It's weird. I mean, because like the Big Ten preserved the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. Yeah. Why wouldn't they preserve all the rivalries and have them all on rivalry weekend?
Schedules already made, and then they had to move people and move match schedules.
So maybe over time, give it a year or two, and maybe it'll settle back into that.
Either that, give it a year or two, and maybe Southern Cal, UCLA, or say, damn, we made a bad decision. We'll come back to the West Coast.
That's what
That's
I
not going to happen either.